All right. Well, good afternoon and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Omar Stennett. Good to have you joining us for one more episode of the big show. This is the JPL review and preview show. And as usual, I have with me Mr. Rudolph Speid, who will be joining in a few seconds. So we just want you to come on right now, share the stream when you join, like the stream, and please remember you can field your questions, and we will try our best to answer as many of the questions as possible in the short windows that we have. But before we get into any discussion, let me just play our little jingle or introductory video, and so you can just listen to that as we get prepared to begin the big show. Yeah, man.
I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is Writers representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here. So, for the day done, you are gonna love over your son.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
All right, there you go, people. There you have it. I am sure sports. Mr. Speid, welcome, sir. How you doing today?
I'm good. And you?
Busy and thing as usual. Trying to be as busy as you, but no, I don't learn the formula yet. But giving thanks to life. Because unfortunately, I had a little situation with a motorist, one of those bus drivers. Them not really obey normal road code. So I was run off the road, almost lose my temper, but we give thanks because nothing serious never really happened,
I must tell you, recently I had like about 9 players in my van, and one taxi guy stopped beside me and just started to threaten me to get physical, but then change his mind when him see about 8 person come up.
And that's the thing. That is the thing, listen, they look like the man living in a different world, because the man was saying that him never, when the police telling the man that he lit the vehicle, the man said, no, man, him not touch the vehicle, and all the police show him never really admitted to it. But you know what is funny? I tell you one of the problems we're having on the road. I think some of these vehicles are owned by persons in the JCF, and right. Probably
my name have a class action, so just say by connected persons and left it there. So.
Yeah. There may be, right, and I think part of it, which is a good business for them. I mean, because they have to do other business and stuff. But I think sometimes that can cause conflict and things. But we're there and we are give thanks. But how you doing, man? After conceding a goal, so late in your game, you should have been up by I don't know, by several goals, and to basically give up a point. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it wasn't a good feeling. Everybody was, including the players, was rightfully upset that we were not able to turn our dominance into goals and shots. But that's the way it goes sometimes. The other team planned, their strategy. We probably didn't react quickly. But the truth is, we got the goal again in the latter stage to win 2-1. But that's how it goes sometimes. I mean, we win some games like those and draw some games like those too. I remember playing Mount Pleasant one last year at the stadium. I don't know we draw that game. Mount Pleasant was all over us for about 89.99 minutes, but we still draw the game 2-2. So it happens. It happens.
Well, man, just correct me saying that you gave up 2 points. And next man said that the Unseen Sport said that dash where the game man is, man. You understand me? So a real dash where. Maybe there's a relationship between you and half of you as two youthful teams that you wanted to, I don't know, but it really looked like a dash where game for true. So as a coach or as a director of sport or technical director, when that happened, what do you do like to the players? Do is a Mourinho kind of attitude towards them or Arsene Wenger kind of attitude?
No, we really sat down on the pitch and we made the players know that, we didn't do as well as we should. And then they admitted it. And then, we came back at the training ground the next day and we talk about it again for probably about 2 hours, went through all the options, what went wrong, what we could have done better. So it's a bit of both. Both Wenger and Jose Mourinho. It was Jose Mourinho the day after the match and then Wenger the day after. So.
Oh, the day after. Okay. Hey, listen, if you're a Manchester United fan, don't worry if I didn't call you a new coach, Solskjaer, but I did mention Mourinho because the Manchester United fan.
Well, and
very personal.
My favorite coach is Sir Alex Ferguson. So
there you go, sir. So Manchester United fans, please don't pressure me.
But I never back Manchester United though, But my favorite coach is Sir Alex Ferguson. Him know him though. I really appreciate him winning mentality.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Big up the United fans. See the first question before we get into. Let me just because I know the reason why. Just answer this person because you're asking why the star baller Atkinson didn't start, but he ended up coming on.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that injury. No, I'm not injured now, but during preseason, he was struggling with that injury. He's still not up to full fitness, no matter what you see him do. In probably about 60%. So we're trying to bring him on slowly into the game. We had to bring him on too early in this game because, as you know, Brian English went down after 15 minutes, so after scoring. So we had to bring on Atkinson too early, so he wasn't that his most effective. But slowly and surely, you'll see him starting soon, maybe this weekend.
Yeah, let me just ask you a question on that. I know Danny Lynn used to say to me that if you're injured, he's going to start you because he doesn't want to put you on and you get injured and then he has to take you off again. So he would risk. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? You'd risk.
No, it's not the same. We have 5 changes, so I have luxury.
Okay.
Plus, I believe also if the player is not at his best, you want him to play against players who are not at their best side.
Oh, meaning that they're tired.
Yeah.
That's a very good point as well. So you hear Alex. Oh, okay. All right. So the man was injured, so because the man then start beat you, because I don't want to get into it, but start beat you. Look what the man said. By far, is starter. Why coach bench him man? And you said Mr. Speid is a talented. Why bench the youth? So then he comes back and says, "Oh, he's sorry because he heard the explanation." All right.
No, he's a franchise, no doubt about it. He's a franchise on our team.
Yeah, but it was also a very good game. I must commend the Harborview team as well because I thought they made it a very, exciting encounter. Though I think your team played a better football for the game. There were also some other good games. As well, I thought the Mount Pleasant team played well. I think they changed the formation. The pro license coach was on the bench for this round as well. He was
and the owner. Where was the owner?
He was somewhere on the bench as well. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. You have to tell me. Is it? That's what I want. But an next man going to say, but you're on the Cavaliers bench.
Well, he's my friend. I mean, Mr. Peter Gould is my friend. I just make it clear he's my friend. I like to see him about the game. Yes.
Oh, you like to see him?
Yeah, it makes the game much better. I mean, his investment in Jamaica football, I must tell you that. I mean, all the clubs are smiling because even, when we go to pay them, they get a good gate receipt. So all of us is very happy that he's here. And why I'm particularly happy though is because of the standard that he sets in terms of getting those pro license codes. So we have to sharpen up to be able to match up with them. So he's good for the league. And I love to see him about it.
Well, I'm telling you, I mean, he loves football because that man stand on the bench almost for every game for the duration of the game. You understand me? But that's good to see. I think it's a very good look for the football. But there were some good games. I thought Waterhouse also played some good football as well. They won their game. Defeated Dumby Holland. Yeah, I think Dumby Holland is an older team, almost like Humble Lion, although Mount Pleasant is old, so I don't even know, like but what in terms of the game of the week, round 2, which one of the games stood out to you, or which couple of the games stood out to you, which player really outside of your Cavaliers team, which other player you thought played well?
Yeah, it's difficult because the games I haven't watched the games and I've only seen some parts on TV, but I can tell you the Waterhouse team is really a quality team that's gonna give a lot of problems. Stuart, who used to go to Jarvis, I think he did well. But both Howell are constant threats. So I think Waterhouse was on a team that played very well. Waterhouse left back, which I can't remember his name. They call him Cracker or something.
Campbell.
Yeah, that boy is really outstanding. I think.
Which school he went? He's a very young player as well. Very young.
I think.
Yeah, very young player.
I think that's one to watch. That's a very outstanding player.
Yeah. And a very good goal by Shaquille Bradford as well.
Oh yes, and he's from. He used to go to.
Camperdown. It's Camperdown.
Right. Yeah. I always tell players, listen, the person who carried the ball in the counter attack not going to score it, pass it after somebody else. But he didn't listen.
Because listen, he had to score because if he did not score that, the coach would have probably flogged him.
Yes.
Because he had two clear passes, but brilliant goal. Humble Lion sinking to their second defeat. Coach underpriced job maybe in problems, early in the season.
I don't think so about that one. Another coach though seems to have lost his job because somebody reported to me that a former Harborview coach, Harold Thomas, was seen giving instruction that don't do well in. So that coach might have lost his job, Mr. Curtis Hamilton, but very unfortunate. I think the managers are too quick on the jaw after just 2 games. So
and they made a lot of the Dumbo Holland team. They made a lot of investment in the off season. They bought Keita Simpson. There was Trevon Stewart who died. They bought Mark Miller from Waterhouse. They loaded up for this season, and I think that is probably part of the issue.
Well, they bought the goalkeeper too, and they bought Dean Weatherly's son.
Right, Ewan Weatherly, who was at Mount Pleasant.
Yes, Saniki Burton. I think, to be honest, they have the best team on paper. It's probably just a matter of trying to gel. And they will come back, and they are wounded now. And they'll face up to us this weekend, so that's why I'm worried, scared.
Oh, so you have Dumby Holland. Okay. Dumby Holland versus that's the games will be played at the same venue, or they're moving them to Stadium East or National Stadium for this?
All games will be at Stadium East for this round.
That's good. I would love to see the difference in play on the no, man, because it is
the grass, the natural grass,
natural surface, because they have been having it on the AstroTurf for the last couple of weeks.
All of us playing on natural grass, so I don't think it will affect us greatly.
Okay. Well, people in the comment section, let me know who is your standout performance. I think several persons for me played well. There's a guy called Nicole Christian that plays for Dumby Holland. He played very well in midfield, though they lost the game. I think he was Nicole Christian is his name.
Yeah, that's his name. He played half a season for me. He's really a top player.
Yeah, man. Very good midfielder.
And then he transferred to. He was at Tivoli, came to us, went to Humberland, and he was transferred to Dunbowling. Really a top player, and he's one of the best midfielders in the league, number 8. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I didn't know that he played for you, but he played really, really, really well.
Most likely played for me if he's that good. You would have yeah, and then you see. Yeah, I also thought
the and a whole Mount Pleasant team played better. I thought this Alwyn Harvey, who played in the midfield number 4, he played well. I think Rankin, though he missed the penalty, played better this week. The
I don't know if
Waterhouse,
they missed, like the keeper saved them, and really stretch out and put onto them with a very good technique. Michael Harrison.
I think like those 2 saves, I would say he makes him, to me, the player. Though he lost the game eventually, but 2 very good saves, very good saves.
And
Very
the truth
impressive.
is, he changed. He's not diving and hoping, but they were on both sides of him, one to his right and one to his left, and they were put in the places that it's difficult to save. But maybe they needed a little more power. But I would give him the save instead of saying that somebody missed. I would give him the save.
Yeah. The next player, like you said, the 2 Howell brothers played well for Waterhouse as well. And there's a defender from Tivoli Garden called Penny Cook. Thought he had a good game. So throughout the league, there were some players who had. I loved what I saw with the Arnett Garden team. I don't know if you know this, but the Arnett Garden teams, this team that they started with, 9 of the players were playing their first Premier League game. Only the goalkeeper was their former KC goalkeeper and the captain, Guthrie. And they brought on some players who played for them recently, but all the other players were playing in the Premier League for Arnett Gardens for the first time. And so that's good that they had, well,
it's a hard road to climb. It's a hard road to climb without experience of the Premier League.
But they never look good. To me, they never looked a cohesive unit. And maybe with more, but they just seem like they are going to struggle this year, and maybe that's why they're sticking. Somebody just remind me, right? Talbot as well from Harborview had a very good game.
Interesting. Just to say that Waterhouse, actually, I don't know if they had 2 set of brothers on the team at the same time.
But the 2 Thomas, Thomas.
All 4 of them was on the field at the same time.
Yeah, the 2 Howells and the 2 Thomas.
Yes, that was interesting.
You know that little right back that plays for Waterhouse. I know he has been called to the national program. I'm wondering, right, Mr. Speid, if some of these players, is there a pathway for them to develop? Because he was called, he's still young. Is he now aware of what he needs to do? Game by game, season by season, to kind of get back into the national program? Is there a player from your team that has been called? If the coach says, okay, boy, we're not ready for you yet, is there something outlined to the player that would help the player to better prepare themselves to meet the expectations of the present coach, or is just go?
No, you're correct. You can. But like for instance, Waterhouse have these 2 wonderful left back, both Cracker and Thomas, and they end up putting
one
Thomas
at
right back, which probably that's not his best position. So what that does is sometimes it does. Suppose the national coach was looking at the player at left back, and all of a sudden him start to play right back. Sometimes there's an issue with their development because people underestimate vision. So if I'm playing left back all the time, I know all the moves from left back that I need to make because I do it 100, 200, 1,000 times. For you to be seeing a different picture, it's difficult for you to play just as well. That is why when players play out of position, they tend to kind of struggle a little bit because all of the rudiments of the position they don't know it. So that is not good for him. I'm just hoping, that there can be fun. A lot of times, though, players, there is the party, but they refuse to do certain things. Like if you know you're light and you don't have enough weight, you need to put down weight and muscles. If you know you can't run for 90 minutes, you can only run for 65, and that is why your game suffer. Then you need to develop those things. So that is the way you set your pathway to become an international player. If you're weak with certain things, I mean, it's always the seven tenets of the game. You see how weak you are with certain one and improve them. And you can come. I just wanted to answer the person about Kaim Paris. Yes.
Oh yes, let me put up that for you.
He's transferred to FC Copper. I think that's the name of the team. they defeated Paris team Kirka, not allowing Kirka to be promoted to the Premier League in Slovenia. So apparently they have bought him.
Oh,
And yes. We understand the business. Yes, we had interest in Mr. Paris. So whenever we get the details, we'll see where that leads us. And we're good enough. We understand the business. We have another interest in him. As if the team that sold him had a sale on clause, then we had interest in that sale on clause too. So we did our homework and we put in the contract things that we need. So we're just waiting.
yeah. And then the follow-up that we said, he's doing great things without the national team, which is, of course, the truth is we want him to be in the national team. You understand me? We want his career to continue, whether he's in the national team or not. But it's good that it didn't discourage him and he's still, you understand?
No, he's not the type though, you know. He's full of confidence. He believes that he can do anything. So, but you know my position. I can't say anything about if he should be in the national team or not, right? But, he's full of confidence. Is probably our most talented player in a sense. And he works very well from the right side of the field, cutting in and shooting his left foot. I mean, he has a mirror goal doing that over and over and over, almost like Robin. He's very good at it. And I think that is why people are looking at him. He got offers or interest from all over Europe.
Okay. Yeah, is Shanil Thomas 100% fit or is he lacking much sharpness?
Lacking. We're trying to play him into form, and that is why we can't put too much of him on the field at the same time to try and play him into form because it will probably hurt us. So no, he's not fit, 100% fit, but he's getting there. I think he's probably about 80% now. He's ahead of Atkins.
Okay. All right. I see Marlon Nelson. You know that I don't agree with you still that Waterhouse played the best brand of football over the weekend. The Thomas brothers. Teacher Stewart had to come off, man. Teacher Stewart was unfit, man. Listen, I'm glad to see him in the league. And here's let me say this. I don't even notice. I counted 14 players who are playing in the league who once played in the USL, who have come back to Jamaica and playing in the Premier League.
Yes.
What does that say, people? Is it that they couldn't make the USL team? No, I think they find that a pathway to the national team is probably playing in the local league because of how it is structured now. And so kudos to the JPL. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the truth is too, another thing is that a lot of they have restructured the USL, you know. A lot of those USL teams are now owned by major league teams.
Okay.
So they are just using them for a feeding ground, and they're using very young players, and they don't necessarily want to pay. You know, and I think the MLS now is also, I might get into trouble for saying this, is also doing what England did to our cricketers. They're not encouraging a lot of our players to be playing.
Okay. But Marlon Nelson, listen, because I thought like Waterhouse, their opponent wasn't the strongest, right? I thought the more competitive game of the weekend was the Cavaliers versus Harborview because they're two well-coached team. Although I think Lovell Palmer should not be playing in the Premier League at his age right now, but who am I? I'm just from the outside. But what I like, I think Waterhouse is playing good football, but I thought Mount Pleasant, played really well. And it's not because Cavaliers played well, Waterhouse played well. I thought Portmore also played very well. So those are the teams that I thought Donovan Duki, the Veer team wasn't attractive, but I saw a system that is like they were a set of machines on the field, staying in their position and not moving out of it for the duration of the game. No hype.
Let me help you from a technical point. What all Duki did was played well without the ball. Is something that coaches know to do. Just play well without the ball and wait for the mistake, and that's really what happened. Because remember, he tried to press him in the first half. Well, you can't press for 90 minutes. So what I think he did in the second half, you could see from what he did. He just adjusted, camp around his 18-yard box, I was just waiting for Portmore to make the mistakes because remember, even although Jamaica tried to pass, teams tried to pass the ball, we're not so good at passing, keeping the ball for minutes, 30, 40 pass every single time. We tried to force the play. So that mistake was always going to be made. And so Duki really just played well without the ball. It sounds funny, but that's exactly what he did and got the points.
Yeah.
So as it relates to Waterhouse, no, Waterhouse played well. I think one of the time I saw Waterhouse actually in Dundee half, and they kept the ball very well, just using half of the field with all 22 men. I thought I was impressive. And Stuart, as you know, his quality, his class, he will come into his own. So Nelson, big up yourself, man. Your team play well. It's going to be one of the team at the end, I know. So we just have to meet somewhere down the road.
Yeah. All right. This one says Cavaliers seem to be playing a box three with very attacking football. Tactical setup seems very similar to the Atalanta team in Syria. Why a box three?
Well,
is it a box three? Maybe that's what we should ask.
No, it is. It's not the first we have played it. It's not the first we have played it. We have played it before. But when we look at the talent that we had, I always believe that we must play the best 11 players, and those 3 players should be in a starting lineup. So we switch to the back 3 and start to play.
Yeah, and I think someone is responding to the Thomas, the Waterhouse player, that if you're a good footballer, you must can adjust your game to fit whatever position. It's not easy though. I understand that. Like I remember the first time, like Lulu, Coach Bender, when I went to Constant Spring, young youth, and he asked me what position I play. I said, listen, you know that, I've played forward before, scored a lot of goals, but I can play right back. And then I said to him, you know that, and I use my left foot just as well as my right foot, so I can play left back and I can play in midfield. And he said, listen, you can't play so much position. Yeah, so it is good that you can adjust the position, but you don't want to go to a coach and tell him that you can play everywhere on the field, because that there's also a disadvantage to that. What are your thoughts, Coach Speid?
No. Of course, you should be able to adjust. But nowadays, the football is different. Even when you're defending, say, a corner, the coach set up the person who's defending the corner in a certain pattern that when you counter, the persons who are running are in their normal position. So it's a new trend. So I'm not saying you're not supposed to can play in a position, but nowadays, even when if you're going to be in a counter-attacking situation, they set it up that the person who was playing left wing would defend the right part of the box if you're looking towards the goal. So whenever they get the ball, him run right in the position that he normally would run anyway. So that is now the new trend. If you think of a high-level coach, that's what they're doing. So nobody wants persons out of position, whether in defense, attack, or in midfield. So just remember, if you can't attack with your left foot, nobody wants you on the right. You don't want you on the left side where you can tackle properly with the left foot or tackle properly with the right foot. So all of those things, it look like is a player might make a mistake, but it can cost you, and people not going through that exercise anymore. So they try to keep you in the position that you are best at the higher level.
Yeah.
Yes, unseen sports TV, I agree.
I'm very glad, because that's one of the problems I have with him from he was at JC. Very hard working, run the channels well, but he needs to score more goals. Right. Someone said, I love the games that Captain Burrows Center. It shows the quality, and I hope that the field at stadium is in good condition. Nice level surface, so we can see more good football, because that's where the games will be played. This weekend, starting tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening. Right. Or afternoon. Is one game tomorrow or two? Two games.
Two Saturday, 2 Sunday, 1 Monday.
Okay. All right. And here Travis Spencer saying that Cavaliers play the best football in the JPL. All right.
That's good.
Okay. Well, what's the Waterhouse? Good.
Play the best. Yeah. And we will meet. Never mind.
And that is what he's going to do this season. You said Duke is set up, basically set up not to lose. Listen, all right. So what I don't understand is this, right? People don't understand. Every coach goes in a game not to lose. All right? They want to win, but they are, at the back of their mind, I don't want to lose. So they go to win. The coach want to win. There's nothing wrong. We have seen where low block teams have won championship. Check Jose Mourinho. So if it work, it worked. Like I don't want. Listen, Brazil is not playing the most attractive football right now, and they're in the Copa America finals, and they don't look attractive. Brazil look like a very good defensive machine. So, but I think Duque, with the players that he have at Dumbeholden, at Veer, who would have been relegated, they have not lost, they have not conceded. I think they conceded 1 goal. But for a team that would have been out of the league, they are doing well, given the players that he has to work with.
Look here. Duque is one of the best defensive coach in the country. He knows how to defend. Football is both defense and attack and transition. Give him credit. He rode his luck and he got the 3 points. Give him credit. We don't know if it will stand up all the time, but so far, no matter what.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
My thought on that. I was the one who started the campaign first about how physical we are. I still believe it exists, and because I've heard teams, our coach, our management say, "Oh, look, we play bad." I say, "Why you play bad? Look here, we don't get no yellow card." I say, "Okay." Or we commit just 2 fouls, So physicality is bad. For the simple reason is that when you go abroad, you will not get away with some of those tackles and some of those things that they're doing out here. So are we preparing ourselves for our league? Are we preparing ourselves for international football? That is the question you have to ask. And if it's international football, then we need to cut out all of these shortcuts that the defenders and midfielders, defensive players are taking to win back the ball. We need to cut them out. The other thing is that we are getting away with it because the expertise, we don't have no German, if you give him a free kick within 25 yards, you know what will happen. You're going to pick it up out of the back of the net. So we are getting away with it, fouling, but pretty sooner or later, it's going to catch up with you. You're going to get cards, you're going to accumulate cards, you're going to get red cards, yellow cards. People are going to start score set plays, and you'll know that it's a bad thing. Who likes it?
And you know what? I've noticed something. There are 2 players that I think could have been red carded over the weekend. And this is part of the Jamaica again, hitting people in the face with them hand, swinging a hand in man's face. I think that is part of the issue. I think when a player goes down because he has been hit in his face, it would be good. Maybe we can implement the full VAR, but in terms of violent conduct on the field. And I think that is part of what needs to come out of the game. I saw 2 players, at least 3 players, who should have been red carded because they on more than one occasion, I don't want to call the names, you understand me? But on more than one occasion, they actually hit players in their faces with their hands, not going after the ball any at all. And the referee just kind of waved, play on. I think if somebody were to say to him, just come and look at this, and no, we don't have VAR, maybe we can call it that, but just if we had one camera that could pick up some of these things, or even, I don't know if it can be done afterwards, where after the game is played, they can go back and say, no man, this was violent conduct. You need a 1-game suspension.
Right. So that wouldn't be the referee who goes back, but yes, it like a competition committee or an operation committee for that purpose. They can go back and look and punish the player. I would actually welcome it because I believe that for the overall development of the game in Jamaica, we need the same standard that is applied overseas. People don't get away with things overseas because it's the same thing that should happen.
Yeah, man. So Holmes asking, was a Dumbeholden coach given a fair shake with the COVID crisis?
I can't answer. What I know is that the management, they are responsible for their team. I remember it's a private company, so we can't even get involved in that so much. But all the teams had problems with COVID, you know. All the teams had problems. I thought that Dundee had one of the best team on paper, if you look at all of the players that they had on paper, comparison to teams like, as I said before, Arnett, even our team that had to go back. We go to a lot of our youth and people who didn't play a lot before. Harborview went to a lot of new players.
Kivali have a lot of new players.
Kivali have a lot of new players. So the truth is, everybody was affected. It's just that, you know, when you're a manager, you have to look at your shortcomings, look at your strength, and work with what you have. Seduki is the same thing with Duki, and he went and he worked and he worked and he came up with a plan, you know. So at a point, you have to just say, listen, everybody have to do what they have to do.
Yeah. Somebody's asking, where is Woodbine? This is
right. So he no longer play for Cavalier. We parted company, both of us, by mutual consent. I know he was overseas training with our USL team. I'm not sure what.
Okay. All right. So you hear that? How come all the games are not on CVM? Yeah, this is something I needed to find out, because what games are brought, because are we doing anything to get more of the games on free-to-air TV? Because it's tough, you know, because there are some places in Jamaica that don't have flow cable right now, you know.
Yeah, but you have to understand business, you know. Free-to-air, you get a taste, and the rest is for pay. So that's really what you have to understand business. It's just business, nothing to do with anything else. We only have to put one match on free-to-air for CONCACAF to classify our league as a professional league, right? So once you do one or two, we'll pass the criteria, and then the person who pays for the recording of the broadcast, they want to make back their money. It's strictly financial.
Hey, so Peso, I think you can get the Sportsmax app, man. You love local football, you're arena, man. Pay some money and watch your thing, man. It's not a lot, man.
And then right?
Yeah. I watched it on the phone, I think. Is Atkins playing as a winger or a cam? He seems to be on the right side of the pitch. On right side? Me always see him on the left side. Unless we see is it right side?
Well, this is one of these players that can play 7, 11, or 10. Amazingly, any one of them, he won't even miss a beat. But he's always on the left side. He plays on the left side for the national team. He plays left number 10 for us. So he's always on. He's a champ. Yeah. But he can play a winger, no matter.
Yeah. What do we need for
feet? No matter.
What we need to go for Jamaica to play the countries like Spain and Italy with that pace and aggression.
We have a lot. Play like the two of them. We have to play like one. They are so different. Spain is very technical. I mean, they don't care about the size of players. Italy have a different perspective. They are very defensive and they play a lot of counter-attacking. While Spain is more a possession-based type team. So they are very different. So we'd have to choose to play like one or the other. Of course, if you had time, you could play both in certain occasions, moments of the game. But what we need, a lot more development programs, a lot more money, a lot more patience, and a lot of quality coaches.
Yeah, but what do you think about the 11 coaches in the league? I mean, I think the standard. Let me say this. I can go through right and give the coaches. So at Cavaliers you have you and Layla. At Mount Pleasant you have Teagat and Nigel. You have Rudolph Speid and you have Wally Deans and a whole set, right? At Harborview you have Ludlow Bernard that I think works with youth. Very accomplished coach. You have Ricardo Gardner in Portmore, Donovan Duki at Veer, you have Calvert Fitzgerald at Mullines, Waterhouse you have Fuzzy, Tivoli you have Phillips who also was with Stats. I think he worked with Stats. Who again we have? Let's go around again. Bam. Arnett Gardner have Alex Thomas. Humble Lion have Andrew Price. What are your thoughts on the coaches? Oh, yeah. So when Mr. Speed come back, we'll ask him about that. Yeah,
No,
what are your
well,
thoughts on the coaches in the league? Yeah.
I must tell you that tactically, it is much harder to coach in the league now. You can say coaches coming with a plan. Whether the plan work or not is a different thing, but they do always come with a plan. I think a lot of the coaches have learned to recognize what type of system and what how teams play. It's just in the early stages, but they are now doing it. Um, and what is happening is that there's a changing of the guards in the coaching arena. If you notice, you'd have certain names coming from before. You're not seeing those names. You have people who used to coach maybe even 4 years ago. Apparently, the owners of the clubs are looking for young persons to take charge of their program. So this is very good. I mean, because young persons are more, would probably want to take certain risks, want to read up more. They are probably very competitive at this particular point of their career, trying to move on with their career. So I believe it's very good for the league for all of these young coaches to be coming up and trying to make a name for themselves. I think a lot of them are very, very good if you see what they use. As remember, our environment is not the best. A lot of our club environment is not the best. So what they make out of their environment that they have, you have to just take your hats after them. They're very, very good. We just need to harness them some more, give them some more education, and the league will improve.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone is saying yes, Palm and Talbot were physically kicking out at the players at times. I know it's a saying to say no nonsense centre back, but it seems attacking players can get injured at any moment, which is true. And I think I don't know why our referees seem to be so tolerant. I don't know if the coaches meet with them, and then when those meetings are held, some coaches are okay with it. Like they're, I don't know, but I feel like there must be some dialogue with the coaches, and some of the coaches must find it to be okay.
I don't know if no nonsense mean you have to kick people, right? I used to play center. I mean, no nonsense just mean and as a matter of fact, now the great Paul Maldini once said, if you have to tackle, you make a mistake already. So that means if you learn to play the game properly, what you try to do is control the spaces, not having to be making last ditch tackle, etc. Ensure that people can break the lines either vertically or horizontally, and that's the measure of a good centre back. So to be honest, I've said it a lot of times. The physicality, where we rely on physicality, when you go abroad, that just won't work. You won't get any jobs abroad as a centre half. You won't. You will only get cards. So I don't think it has with football in that time.
Yeah. Yeah, and coming back to the referee, you is asking. Part of the issue is who is evaluating the referee, and is it based on international standard? Very, because the match commissionaries are the match commissionaries the persons who take the report of the
No,
referee.
there's a match assessor for the referee, different from the match commissioner.
Okay, so
Different
but isn't
process.
that is that assessor a referee as well?
No, it doesn't ref in the game. It's somebody who have done it before, but they are trained to assess.
So every game that is played, there is
Yes.
a assessor.
Yes.
All right. You know what will be interesting? I need to get somebody because I want to know, like, how do you, because, all right, in the Premier League, right? In the English Premier League, let's look at that. You'd see like referees being removed from certain fixtures, or they have also had referees that get demoted to the lower tiers, which is a championship, because of consistently, some of them, I mean, have consistently poor performance and still officiate in the league. I guess the good outweighs the bad. But are the coaches in the league privy to how the assessment is done, that they can say no, how you can assess him at the end of the game? When did you check like these 6 calls, 8 calls that he missed? Is there anything like that where at the end of your game you can look at that assessment and compare to your, or is that supposed to be, or that should not be, or that is a private matter?
It's a private matter. I've never seen an assessment that has done by an assessor, but there has been instances that I know of that referee has been sidelined for a while because of errors that they made in the game, etc. So that is done.
Okay.
the problem is that them still, you know, company say, oh, Rudolph, we get a yellow card, you know, yes, the referee sit down for 3 or 4 months. They don't do that for whatever reason. So you don't know, but that it has been done. And I know they assess them. One of the things that I know that the assessor are probably not able to do like other countries is to get back a tape of the match and then go through it to see where the mistakes might have been. So remember, the eyes can fool you. You know, you probably need more technology to get the referee to become a better standard. So I remember one call that the referee didn't give Cavalier a penalty, and I know the head referee, so I just tape it and get off the tip and say, oh, he said that is not a penalty. And then, you know, all 3 of us talk through it, and the referee said, you know, it's a penalty, we should have given it. I mean, there was no animosity. It's just as long as the referee was very cordial and said, you know what, I made a mistake. And we just move on. But these are the type of things we really want to be able to do to show the person, say, no, man, see it here in a black and white, in a slow motion, you make a wrong call so they can improve. So that's what we need, more of that technology to help the referees to become international.
Yeah, I think that is good. I think like maybe teams need to do that. Teams need to video the games, and where they see a call go against them, then they can send that clip to the referee just to see, because that is improving, helping to at least help the referee to identify flaws and stuff in their own abilities. Referees still allowing the players to get away with too much bad tackles, and that needs to fix. So the game, look how I agree. This person is saying that don't be holding the style the man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't be holding. That is Curtis Hamilton. So this man is inviting him to come and work at. Oh, so you're from Claremont. Charlie Mount, sorry. Oh, you see a coach at Charlie Mount. Okay. Somebody said that football, no play on paper, you play on the field. Coach is important. I think you said that don't be holding as the best team on paper. That is shit.
What do you think, Karoom?
Pesa, you need to calm your comments down. I mean that the man chat too much, him too hype. The man is confident. Why Jamaicans believe that when a person is confident? If you listen to Mr. Speedy, you're gonna say him talk too much, you know, because he believes that Cavaliers can win every game. That no hype. Yeah, that is confidence.
I have to believe that.
Yeah, that is confident. I mean, it may not be the reality, but you have to be confident. If you don't believe in you, who gonna believe in you? What the man must come out and say, well, we are not good enough. He have to come out and say team are the best team. And he can't wait for the league start because he knows that he's going to win it. What you want him to come out and say? We're not going to win the league and don't start. No, man. That is confidence, man. And I can't say I would do the same thing, but I can understand. All right?
Well,
your question that Mrs.
Yeah, our players not just look here. I mean, the US market is a market when it comes to football. It's one of the only country in the world of 2 that have that type of franchise system, no sporting merit in their football structures. They even when our players go to the USA, it's like pulling teeth to get training compensation or solidarity. They just don't pay it. So their corporate structure for their club is much different. They depend on, I mean, sponsorship, they depend on gate receipt and advertising, etc. While the European market on football is much different. Transfer is where they make a lot of money, right? The US people don't believe in transferring players in between clubs, etc. They prefer to go to the colleges and get some free players, even at the MLS, etc. So that is the reason why when you get into a USL team and you start, even if you do good for a couple of years, they tend not to be looking for transfers. They tend to be just looking for you. They to be winning in their neck of the woods, and make some money. So transfer is not a big deal for them. Training compensation, solidarity, that's a big deal for them. So it's just the market structure. So our players get there and get stuck in the league for 5-6 years, and then after that, Europe just don't want you anymore because you're probably too late. Right? Unless you get into the MLS and become a big star, then you get a transfer to Europe. So.
What some persons have been asking me, I know this question don't come up yet, but you can tell me what your thoughts are. So there are players out there now because transfer window closed at the end of August. I think the 31st of August, somewhere around there. And then, but our new league restarts in October. Optimistic, being very, I think it ends in September.
Maybe November.
November, let's say November. Now, how do you end this league? What window is there if you're following international standards to get players into your team?
No, man, it's not an issue. No, man, it's not an issue. The country is allowed to set their transfer window. So we'll set ours in October.
Oh, so we can't do that regardless of what the FIFA windows are.
No. FIFA don't have any window. FIFA allow the countries to set their own window twice for the year. The one in January kind of stuck, but the one in the mid-year, you can set it anytime. You can put it to November, you can put it anytime you want.
You know what, so why have we always had this hard and fast rule that our window open based on the European system and it closes at this, why do we follow that then?
Yeah, because if you want to sell players overseas, you want to have the same window.
Okay.
So it made sense, but you don't have to.
You don't have to follow it. Okay. All right. Why can't we find an identity that fit the player we have in our country?
Well, everybody find their own. If you go to the Premier League, they have their own identity that fit our players. What we do have is consensus. It's not because we have identity. We just have a consensus from all the stakeholders. You know what? This is our identity. So it's not that people haven't looked at it. We have looked at it. We figure we know what it is. But we don't have consensus. So that's why it's not our identity.
Yeah. Mr. Speid, being a big coach like you, what classified a good coach, or what is it that makes a coach a good coach? Who is a good coach?
That's a long answer. Very long. First of all, you have to be able to. You have to have a story that the players will buy into. So even if he's a good coach and you know everything about coaching, you know every rule book, everything about coaching, if you can't sell the story to the players, it don't make any sense. So there's a psychological, physiological part that you have to make sure you're a master, right? Then yes, you have to have knowledge, right? You have to have knowledge about the game, as much as you can, because if you don't have knowledge, I heard somebody saying you don't have to have the knowledge, you just have to have a knock. Yes, a knock can carry so far, but you're really supposed to stop up knowledge. A good coach always have a good environment that they play. So a lot of coaches, when they go to get a job, they say, give me the ball and when training start. You saw them go to a club, then they have an idea what the philosophy of the club is, what the club want to achieve. And then when they get fired, they must say, but what is happening? Yes, you and the club is not on the same wavelength. So good coaches make sure say them on the club on the same wavelength. Them have a story, them have a philosophy, them know exactly what they want to do. And that have to mesh with the management of the club and everything first, before you even touch it. So there's a lot of then you have to focus on yourself. Are you a good person? Or you're a bad person? Are you like going to tell the players to have discipline and you don't have none? Remember, discipline come in a whole heap of different way. It come in a way you could be a drunkard, you could see a gamble. I know one coach him and the player look the same girl. The QM can coach eventually, the team must fall down. So you have to focus on yourself. You by yourself, when you say something, you mean it. You fear to everybody. All of that to become up. So your environment have to be good too. It can't be that some people come 12 o'clock and some people come 1 o'clock. So you have to focus on your environment. Does the players them have refreshment? Does the players them look like homeless people when you come there? Or them look like them dress up, all of them dress up in the same clothing, uniform, etc. Or you treat your staff, everything. So it's a big combination of things that you have to do to become a good coach. And as I said, you have to can teach the game, you can know things in your mind, and you can expose it across to the players. Again,
that's very good.
Yeah. So,
many dimensions, because the truth is I've seen because I have a lot of information I read up on football and things, and I always say to people that a lot of times a coach will see a coach using a drill, a particular drill. People go on YouTube now and they see a coach doing a drill and they come to their own training session and they do the drill. And I always say to them, listen, every drill has a big purpose to your big vision. That's how you do a drill. If I'm doing a 5 square drill, we remove the ball into the 5 square with different numbers in the boxes. There's a reason for it, because I want to teach somebody how to move the ball from one part of the field to the other part of the field. You don't just take it and you have to be yourself, because what people do, they do a lot of drills, but there is no connection to the different drills and there's no ending to it. Like, why am I doing this? You have to know, when you're a coach, you have to know why. Meaning, what is the end of me having my players run around the field and do 20 laps? What is the end? And if you don't have that, then is running around the field the best thing to do? Because if you don't have the end in mind, you're going to do the wrong things leading up. And that is part of the thing that people are becoming YouTube coaches. They go online and they see some things and say, what? That look nice, let me try it. But why did that coach do it? Because his why may be different from your why.
Well, what did you say? And then the last part of being a good coach, it's not the last part, just another. Like, for instance, a lot of stuff that I learned. I go to lunch. I mean, people invite me to places. I might go to lunch. I'm going to say, Usain Bolt coach. And him teach me something. Okay, speed. Weak people cannot run fast. So, okay. So if I'm on weak, he can run fast. I mean, he can run fast probably 2 or 3 strides, but not. So what you do, you have to be constantly learning to be a good coach. Don't believe say you know everything. It's one of the biggest mistakes coaches make. Believe say they learn everything. You have to constantly teach yourself, learn and refresh your knowledge. And that will keep you in line. For instance, you have to understand too that the league itself that you're playing teach you a lesson. How will you learn a lesson and how you correct it? If you're at the bottom of a league, you know so the league will teach you a lesson. So you need to know these things and understand how you make corrections. Even if you're headstrong, you have to know when you can make corrections, because you might start a game and a game is never one game. A game is 2 halves. And you play well the first half and next half you can't understand why you're getting killed. You have to be versatile and you have to go with change as the situation demands. So all of things make you a good coach. And the last one, identification of talent, which Jamaicans don't do. Trust me, don't trust your eyes. You will see a player that look good in a game, him have no use. And so you have to be able to identify talent who's going to help you depending on what you want to know and what the scenario you want to create.
Yeah. All right. I know emphasis is being placed on coaching. What about the player agents? Is there any development in local players having access to good agents who have their best interests at heart? Are there actual agents who work in Jamaica or within CONCACAF located in Jamaica, except the one that is at Cavaliers?
No, he's not an agent. He's a scout. He's not an agent.
He's a scout.
No agent have your best interest at heart. They must want me. That's the first. Then they're interested in their development. Then wait till they develop. Then they run come in. Then no agent come into a youth, a 14-year-old and say, "I like him, let me carry over years of development." Then wait till they make the national team or that junior or them you play good in the Premier League. Then they must run from. But you're right. Player agency is very important, and I don't know why more people in Jamaica hasn't decided to become agents. Mainly because of how our players are grown up. Our players don't even want to sign a contract to play for a club. You literally have to force them for them sign it, a lot of them. It's because of our rules why players signing the contracts now, because you basically can't play without a contract. So to get a player to sign for an agent, the agent says he's going to get 10% of their salary. Trust me, that's not an easy thing to do. And I think that is the reason why you have more player agents in Jamaica, because the players will not sign over their money to any local person unless they're getting a job overseas.
But you know what is funny? If I decide, all right, say I am an agent now and say, let's Arnett Garden want to sign one of my players and say the player play Division 1 and them see. Listen, in Jamaica, like I don't think this thing is so professional, because I go, but we're not talking to you. Brother, you want to come play if we can't sign the thing, yeah, man, we are going to tell about agent and agent fee and all of that. I think we are not yet at the professional level where even our clubs think about talking to an agent. Like it's like a complete change of culture, because one, a player have to get to the place where he can say, no, I don't deal with these stuff. Speak to, it's just like artists. And it's the same thing in the music industry. Artists have to now get to the place where they can say, no, talk to my management, which is an agent in essence, right? Because if you don't do that, you end up going into deals, playing for a club, but you could have earned more and benefited more. And you don't have certain things covered and protected. And we don't think it is necessary because we don't see the high levels of income being generated from the local football. But that is something that like a club like yours need to know, start to probably talk to your youngsters about, and probably find agents. I mean, maybe you do that, who can represent them and let them understand the importance of having that as they go to negotiate deals, not just in Jamaica, but wherever they go to play football, Europe, North America, South America, and even in Asia.
No, I agree with you 100%. It's something that, I mean, if you're in the USA and you're 13 and you're 6 foot something, somebody start coming on you right away. And you play basketball, even on the little field outside, because they must say, maybe you could be the next big player, and you get room, etc. You're 100% correct. Agencies is an industry that needs to be developed in Jamaica for us to be better. Yeah.
Maybe we need to have a licensing. Maybe that's something as part of the technical committee at the JFF we can look at. Like, you have a course where people can actually pay to do the course and become licensed agent that operate in Jamaica.
The JFF used to actually
do that,
administer the course, but it's expensive. The insurance was like millions of dollars, and I think that's what turned off a lot of people. I think it has changed now. I don't think it's the same process, but I can't remember what process. But I agree with you 100%. We need the agency thing to develop in Jamaica, so that the grooming of the players can take place at that early.
Yeah. Boy, I guess them would never see me coach yet. They would have wonder if he's a madman when me a coach. But you answer that.
Nice.
So
I know that the camera is on me, so some of the time you have to just take it easy. You know the camera is on you, so you have to just take it easy.
You said emotionless. That is the point. What? No, man.
Or maybe I expected it. Maybe I expected it. It didn't surprise me.
Is that the emotion was that? His emotion that he was so upset he couldn't even say what I got through his mind. Yeah,
maybe I didn't expect it, so it didn't surprise me.
Yeah, man. If I say, okay, how you control the emotion when a player miss a goal like your captain? Oh, you know that, Mr. Speid? This is a coach asking this. Eh?
After the match, didn't I tell you? I was like Jose Mourinho after the match, and then I changed back to Arsene Wenger the next day. So there was emotions, but you have to understand that same player going to come up chumps here next day, so you need to just deal with it professionally.
Yeah, but you know that is not always the thing. You know what is the next thing? Like, I always tell my players, like, listen, I know my players. I know who to get mad with on the field, and I know who to leave alone until the game finish. So you can't treat everybody the same way, and that's something a coach need to understand. There are some players that they need you to shout at them. You have to, and that you get the best out of them. That's what they want to inspire them. There are other players that if you shout at them, mentally they're not strong enough yet to kind of deal with that, and it affects their game. So I didn't learn that early when I was coaching my team, and I would get mad with everybody, and then it would just affect certain players. They can't deal with it.
At the professional level, though, you have to realize that players don't mind you chew them out. In private, it's the public chewing out. You could have an issue, they would have issues. So you have to understand the professional level. Because remember, these are professional people, employees, etc.
Yeah. Here's the next. Yeah. Here's the next very good question, which is something that I have a friend of mine. I think he's on the street. Garel, who used to do that for my club in D1. We used to have all of the datas. We do a data of every player and stuff. But analytics is becoming a greater part of football. Have Cavaliers taken a step towards better data analysis and evaluation? You mentioned the eye test, but data again can prove the eye test wrong. What are your thoughts on that?
No, but just the last part. No, I was saying that the eye test is not good enough. I wasn't saying I was explaining that the eye test. So I'm agreeing with you that data is important. But as I say, we have two people in our club. My general manager thinking about analyzing team and evaluating team research and players. So come to the training and then the scout, right? That's his job too in the club. He's full time, that's his job too. So we have two persons. But if you look at like Harborview, if you look at when they were warming up, they even have on the best that have on the thing that the system, the GPS system, that
right,
the movement, etc. So we are trying to buy one. I don't know if you, what is your name? If you can sponsor us one, we need that GPS system too.
Yeah,
to be able to evaluate our players' performances. So that is something that we're looking at getting, and we're probably going to, once we win the league this year, we're going to buy, all the proceeds of the prize money. I'm saying, without winning it, I'll come second.
Well, if you go to CONCACAF,
that's the money we earmark to buy it.
Yeah, but if you're going into CONCACAF, then I mean you should get a lot of funds from that to do that, man. And I know you're going to have probably a few player sales into Europe, bring some money into the coffers and all of that stuff.
Yeah, we're getting some cars. Hope it works.
Yeah, but the Jamaican player know their rights, and this is going back to what they are entitled to. This is the next going back to the agency thing.
Well, they're getting closer because now, I mean, all the players in the Premier League, you can only field 5 players in your team that don't have a contract. So most of the players actually, get their contract start to reach with Carlo give somebody with a trust. So they kind of start to get there. Of course, not totally, because there's image rights and other rights that they could talk about, which I know they're not talking about presently as we speak. But once they go overseas, all of my players, they would, come back and say, coach, see my contract here, help me with it. I would send it to a lawyer and they would go over it and kind of, give the players some pointers. So, no man, they're getting better. They're not where they should be, but they're getting better. I mean, they're getting better.
Do you think the players should have their own, maybe as a manager, coach, you probably can't even answer this, but we just ask it. Should the players have their own, like a players, what do you call it now? Association where they have their, so if a player, for example, if I'm a player at Cavaliers and you give me a contract, maybe the players have an association where there's one lawyer that can go through the players and all of them probably pay something to that. Like I don't know what you call it, but in the EPL, for example, in certain leagues, the players have, the NBA have it where when it comes to bargaining and deals and stuff like that, you have player representative, and from the pool of players, you have players who are part of that. So I'm wondering if that is something that maybe players need to look at. Probably 2 players from every team forming something to help them better learn the rudiments of the marketing and the financial part of the whole thing. Player association.
Yeah, so it helps up to a point. I mean, even in recent negotiations that we had with the players, a lot of the players had that bargaining arrangement.
Okay.
But the truth is, the star players with their own agents and no.
Yes.
Those people can't represent my client. I have to represent my client. So that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So the individual contracts will never leave.
Okay, true. I hear this, man. I don't know. If that was the case, man, I would have heard. But maybe Mr. Speid have other information.
I don't know. The young striker that I was interested in was Webster, the last one, and we have him. I don't know of any at this point. But since Rina not playing, just send the striker come here having a ratings film and we can look at him. So we're good. We're willing to look at the player. And Mr. Donzel, I'm a friend, so nobody even trying nothing there. So Just send me player come.
Trust me, man. You met this brother man from Reno can't sleep tonight. Yeah, next
You know,
thing you say,
is him introducing player to me, you know? So if it's anything at me, it's his fault. Is it?
Yeah, man. Big up, Ishi. Good to have you, sir. Big up, man. All right. Some of the players must
Arena too.
No, man. Ishi is from Constant Spring supporter up in Kingston there. Always love Cavaliers too, you know. So that probably an ex-Cavaliers fan right there. Some of the players must take responsibility of their future too, because some players are more interested in going overseas more than trying to push themselves to the next level, which is true. But any direction, I think a lot of our players need direction. I think we have been unprofessional for so long, and that's why I'm saying, Mr. Speid, like it's almost like even with your club with so many young players, there has to be a development of them outside of the football in terms of how they, like, I think image is important. Like, I don't know, like, who is a poster boy for Mount Pleasant? Who is a poster boy for Cavaliers? Who is it? You know, like how Hurricane, you like have certain clubs, you know, the poster boy carries himself a certain way. Like, I think some of the players, listen, you are good enough to go overseas. We want you to be like the poster boy. So if the league needs somebody from Cavaliers or from Arnett or from Tivoli, you are the one. So, brethren, me know you like the bleaching thing, but you have to cut it out. Me know you like have your hair scattered all over and sing, but we want you to portray a certain image because you're going to represent us before our sponsors. I think that sort of education or the professionalizing of our players need to take place. So do you have sessions with your teams, your players outside of just football to help and develop them at that level? And should that be something that is done broader for the JPL in total?
Well, I mean, I know that a couple of seasons before, some of our sponsors used to have those days that they bring the players in, teach them how to speak in front of the camera, etc. So it's really something that we should do and try to make it better for the players. There's a proposal from someone who said to me that, you know, they wanted to be a life
coach. A life coach, yeah.
So, but the truth is, again,
you know, you talk to one of the big life coach, man, with coaching with people overseas, man, and all of them things there.
Right.
You talk to him and you seek other people. I don't understand what's going on, man.
No. I'm saying no, but
you have one right beside you right now. Eh?
Yeah, but I'm saying nothing is free, you know. It's just that somebody else have to pay for it. And this is who's going to pay. That's really the big problem. The players at this particular time don't see themselves paying for that service, and we don't have the money to do it at this time. You know, we just barely survive a lot of it.
Until you can pay, I will, you know, once you're available, man, we can do something. Because we into developing people, you know. So it's something that, I mean, until you can pay, we probably give us, I mean, I do some of that. Because, I mean, me do it free overseas, so I can do it free.
All right, fine. If you're volunteering, you know I like a bargain.
This person that Mr. Speedy will hear from me soon, getting my certification first. So this is the person. That's the person was talking about the data analytics, getting the certification in it. Yeah. Yeah, man. Cavaliers
to teach.
To teach other people about it.
Yes, that's what we need. It don't make sense two of us alone have it. We need other people to teach a skill to other persons.
All right. Here's the next one for you. I tell you that you're popular when you come on the channel, you know.
You're correct about our brand, but remember we deliberately cultivated our brand overseas. We go to Cayman almost every year. Win the Tigers with teams from Europe. We beat Tottenham Hotspur 1. We go to Mexico. We go to Hotel Cup 2 years in a row. We stopped going because of the pandemic. And we were like the 9th youngest professional team in the world last year. And we were also the number 1 in CONCACAF. So we carefully built our brand overseas. We gave away the players that are over there, Alex Marshalls, the Nicholas Hamilton, the Prime Paris. Of course, we almost give them away for cheap. That is a part of
the brand, developing the brand. Yeah.
But now we can point to people now and say, that player, we develop that player. Okay, do you have a comparative player? Yes, we do. This is the player. okay, this player value X now. Well, guess what? This one not so cheap, you know. You need to give us some more money. So we have done the brand building, and yes, you know, we're happy for the new television product that we have. So out of the COVID came something positive. People are watching the games that we are playing and looking at the players and say, "Oh, I like that one from overseas." So the truth is, it should make life easier for us to transfer player overseas now. Unlike before, Alex Marshall would have done some wonderful things, but it wasn't on TV. He would have beaten 9 players, but it wasn't on TV. Now everything is on TV. So yes, I agree with you.
Just quickly, I've been watching the Canadian Premier League. I haven't seen Alex in any of the games that I've watched so far.
Now he played. He's the poster boy for their team, and I saw him play a game that I didn't score, but they took 8 shots. Alex took 4. One of them actually scored, but there was no television. The television, there was no VAR. It went over the line and come back out. It off the crossbar. We didn't get the goal. So no. He's their poster boy and he's playing.
Okay, and I see somebody saying that Newton Sterling was head of a player association at some point. I don't know if that was official. I
It
can't.
wasn't official. The problem with a players association, you're going to need somebody.
You have to have good legal minds, because it's a legal situation representing people and all of that. So,
And again, I don't know if the player was willing to pay.
yeah.
Players is a problem, to pay.
Right, but the channel has become a recruiting tool. So, I'm going to say, I'm a star midfielder for you to speed from. This is the Charlie Mount coach.
All right, Charlie Mount coach. Tell me to come and look at him.
And Pesa he said that he sent we sent him. I don't know which Reno player that.
What you saying?
Yeah, well, you had to read off a workout that one because I don't, I don't know. Somebody,
one player.
yeah, man.
Jamal is not playing now. He's supposed to come back and represent us in the Premier League.
Yeah, because okay, because he's not playing any football.
No, but we have back his transfer. He's with us.
Okay, so we could
He
see him
was on
feature.
loan. We never sold him. He was on loan.
Okay, so we could be seeing him before the season end.
Good. The team that he was playing in essentially went bankrupt. So it's not that he lost a job. They just stopped playing.
Okay. Interview also the JPL players struggle to put some sentences together.
I don't know why he says the JPL players, is the citizens of Jamaica. Stop giving it on football. I'm not give football. The citizens of Jamaica struggle. And that's what happened everywhere. Blame it on somebody else.
Yeah, that is true. But listen, we hope to talk to some of the players. I don't know if their marketing deal prevents them from probably talking to other media outlets, because that could be a part of the whole. I don't know what the contractual situation is.
There's no such deal. The players are contracted to the club. The clubs are the ones with the contractual relation with JPL. Players are free to. Free.
So one of these Fridays, we're gonna let Mr. Speid bring on one of his players to come and talk about his experience. Let us find out from the player if Mr. Speid is as good a coach as he says he is, because we want to make sure that he's not tooting his own. He's not tooting his own on. You understand? We need
I'm the worst coach.
Should train players to talk and interview before they come live. You can't listen. All right, let me tell people something, because I always hear people talk about Jamaicans and how we talk. Listen, the truth is that players, if you listen to some of the English players, the English is not good enough. It's just because they talk English, they have a different accent. They only have a different accent. You ever hear them talking it and then say, well, it was a coach's idea. There is no word called idea. But at Jamaica say, well, it was a coach idea. And we say, but the word is actually idea. But when an Englishman says it was a coach's idea, we say it sounds good, but the word is not idea. But so the point
we agree that we should have trained the players to do interviews. I'm agreeing with that. But what we try to do is is sieve out the ones who we know can handle themselves and leave the others, at some other time. But you're right. We need to do that. The difference between us and a professional team overseas, they have posts in their clubs called like player welfare. Somebody who just deal with player welfare alone.
Yeah.
They can easily see if a player is struggling, that they don't know the language when they go to another country, that person ensure that they get lessons, whatever they need to become polished. So, but that's the difference between us and professional youths abroad. We do have that budget. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that is not only. And the other issue is a lot of the clubs have their own media. Yeah, you understand me? Like Arsenal have their own media. A lot of the clubs have their own media. So when a player comes on, say, one of the regular channels, say they come on, for example, they were supposed to go on Sky Sports. They already have experiences doing interviews at the club's personal TV channel from in the academy setting. So by the time they get to the BBC, the Sky Sports and those things, they already are groomed into that aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah. Sometimes they even do it for fun. They have other players who are adept at doing those things. We'll come around and interview them for fun, and they develop from an early age. No, it's true. It's a whole different environment. This is a good one. Messi don't have any subject.
Yeah, there you go.
Done.
Listen, I think a parent should decide if you want your child to be a professional footballer you understand me? And if you decide that they're going to be a professional footballer, then maybe they don't need the subject. And I think sometimes because we think in the struggle of the Jamaican context and stuff. But some of the footballers, you see the Neymar and these guys, Neymar don't have any subject, I can tell you that. Ronaldinho don't have any subject. Neymar never completed tertiary level education. That I know.
Tertiary, why are you going so far?
No, sorry, secondary, I should have said. Yeah. Somebody's asking, Ishi is asking, what is the situation with the level below the JPL, the Falmouth unit, which is the Super League level?
Well, the government made it very clear that they were only going to approve the playing of the Premier League first, and they'll see what happens afterwards. So we don't know. We'd like to get them playing, but the government decides.
Okay.
Remember, we were just lucky to get in this one going. The government wasn't interested in having mass sport being played anywhere in Jamaica. Now we start opening up. We're going to be inquiring, so we'll keep you posted.
All right. There you have it. This one is saying football as an institution in Jamaica should be an avenue not just for the most talented to succeed, but also for the vulnerable use it to become professionals.
Well, somebody said a while ago about the Phoenix players. It's true.
Yeah.
There's a difference in speech. One of the reasons that there's a lot of uptown players. Another reason that they have a bigger budget, and the third reason is that they're organized. They're able to get persons to teach the players to speak properly. So it's a combination of all of those. You have to remember that a lot of players in certain clubs, which I won't call the names, they are just hustling from they are young. They're hustling. So a lot of those times that they would have had free times is just not present. So there's different circumstances. But as I said before, I agree with you that clubs should spend time getting players to speak properly and etc. But Phoenix players, a lot of them are up, they're social.
Uptown kids. And they also have, I think every year they have some trip to Europe where they get to do some of these things as well, for the most part. So,
they are more organized as an academy. But again, you see, one of the problems is that clubs carry certain expenses every month. They have to pay players. Phoenix as an academy doesn't necessarily have to carry those expenses, so they could channel the resources into a different area, and that is probably what they have.
All right. So listen, you know that Mr. Speid can answer the question here, All he's going to tell is that Cavaliers is in there.
Yes, that's all.
So you need to tell us. You need to tell us what your top 4 is. I think Cavaliers is going to be in there.
No, we want to be in there.
Of course, Mount Pleasant. I think Waterhouse is going to be in there. But you see that 4th position. I like those 3 teams. I'm almost making sure picks for the top 4. Though it's going to be a top 6, right? Maybe I can do that for the top 6. Let me go to 6. I think there's going to be Portmore.
Yeah, champions.
You have Portmore, you have Cavaliers, you have Waterhouse, you have Mount Pleasant. Boy, listen, let me tell you this. I think Dookie is a very good tactical coach when it comes to the defensive setup. And if it's a top 6, as you may not think the team is good, but he always finishes in the top 6. So I'm going to put Veer in there, though I don't think they have the best team, but I think they have a very astute coach. And I don't know.
The team is not that bad, you know. They have Dennis, they have Ramon, they have Plummer, I think his name is. They have probably arguably one of the best keeper in the country at Veer. No,
Kadeem Davis.
Yes, he's
and
excellent.
They have Campbell. They have Campbell who's the captain, Mount Pleasant, Captain Water.
Yeah. Them have some decent players. They might just, and them have a twin that they transferred from my club, the Harrison twins. They are very good players. I wouldn't be saying those things. They have a very good chance.
Yeah, but let us hear what your top 6 is, because it's hard for me to name a top 6. Like, I don't know. I don't trust Harborview's. I don't trust Harborview backline. I think they have some good players in midfield. I don't trust the backline, but you just never know. But tell us who Ricky Dan's of. I think Tivoli. I don't know, but Tivoli is the next team based on what I've seen so far. That could surprise. I think Arnett, Humble Lion is going to struggle. I think Malines is going to struggle as well. I think Dumby Holden is going to listen. The good thing is that the league is competitive, man, and I think that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Yeah. And what is happening to our local centre backs? We are not seeing them coming through.
Well, I have identified some really good local centre backs. So when you say coming through, it's hard for them to compete against those players from England playing the Premier League and in the Championship. But I have identified some really good local centre backs. I can tell you 2 often. There's one by the name of Biggs that play for Portmore. He's top quality. No, Antonio Biggs. He said young.
Oh, Antonio Biggs. Okay.
Yeah, that boy is real quality. I went for him. Portmore beat me out on it. And then our Richard King that played for us, that's a king. That's one of the top, and he's just 19. That's those 2 young centre back. It was kind of hold some of our future. I can see them already playing overseas and probably playing in a national team. Those would be the 2 of the best that I've seen in the local.
Yeah, this guy who played for Dumby Holden, he's the captain because he's not young because he's 24, played in the USL as well. Yeah. But I see somebody here put in.
Played for me too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah. All right, I see that 4. But there are players who love football. All right, I think we read that. Somebody's asking ranking. Ranking is our best CDM for sure because somebody said earlier that he is, if you believe he's the best CDM in the local league. Let me find that. Where is it? Let me find that.
Really?
Let me see what I can.
He used to play for me, so I know what he can do. But how can I say he's the best now? I mean, there's difference. He's actually can pick up pass. He knows the game very well. Plays to instruction. But there's other central defensive midfielder who are more explosive, faster. Really game well.
I think I've been impressed. I don't know if Christian is a CDM, but he, like I said, for the game
Christian is a number yet, not a 6.
And the Howell brother is the Howell not the number 10, the other one at Waterhouse. Is he a CDM? Because he looked, I think he used to play for JC as well.
Yes, he was a JC star. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was
in different structures. The Waterhouse tend to play like a 4-2-2-2. So it's 2 and 6.
Okay. Some of the back of Shami next.
I don't know. I don't know. I have some inquiries about some players.
Okay, Unseen Sport. Listen, you cannot have a top 4 and not have Mount Pleasant in it, boss. That's not possible. The team finished second last season. I think they were second when the league ended. Before that, they were in the semifinals, and you pick us a 4 and don't have them in it. You have a team that was close to relegation. What makes you clear for no? See somebody who know right pick here. This looks better. You can't leave out Portmore though. I am telling you, you cannot leave out Portmore.
I think you guys should stick to the top 6. So it make like
it's easier to stick.
The playoff teams. Then after that, you come back and say who will win. But just stick to the playoff teams now.
Yeah, but it's very lively. Lee, I think. Will he start?
That's not Lee. That's Webster. Webster is our number 7. Ronaldo Webster from Reno.
Oh.
We got him from Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will he start? Most likely.
His father asked me if he should send him to Portmore. I said yes.
Wrong answer.
Oh, all right. Don't pick a team because of me. Listen, no. Listen, if you watch the game Unseen Sports, Mount Pleasant has looked good in their 2 games. Mount Pleasant, for around the last 10, I think Cavaliers probably the last team that scored Mount Pleasant going back to last year Premier League. Them don't concede a lot of goals, man. It's not the money thing, man. It's not a money thing. But yeah, Portmore look like they have some tactical deficiencies. I don't think so. I think this youngster Omar Reed and they have this guy Emilio Rosso. I think Biggs is a good defender. They have this guy, I think he is from very good.
St. Lucian.
The St. Lucian guy with his ear plot. He's very good defender, man. You didn't know that one? That guy's a...
Yeah. They have 2 St. Lucian, not 1. 2.
Yeah, man. But that one, he has locks.
But in fairness to the writer, though, he said tactical. He never said players.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I listen. I'm glad that Gardner has a job, but I think that is one of the areas that he has to grow in. His tactical approach. I'm gonna give you one glaring thing. All right, I cannot tell you what position Ricardo Morris was playing. I don't think he was playing a position. I think he was playing as a national baller. That's it. Because he wasn't playing CDM, he wasn't playing box to box, but he was stretching the ball over and up. I don't know. What was he like? I don't know. Well, maybe I need to learn the system, but I felt like this is a national player who says, I am the senior man, I'm going to run the show. What position you play? No, man, he didn't run the show. And I think that is where the coach has to step in and
I think you're a bit harsh, though.
Really?
Yeah, man. Not that bad.
No, man, he played well enough. He played well.
I understand the difference.
But I think he overplayed. I think he Go ahead.
No, I'm saying maybe, you used to have a player named Riquelme. That's the last number 10.
I don't know if I agree with the last number 10 because there was a Mesut Ozil after Riquelme.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but Riquelme, Riquelme used to do that for real.
And Johan Cruyff too. You never know him, okay?
Yeah, man, saying Mount Pleasant never beat Cavaliers.
No, man, they beat us in a practice game.
Hold on. How the semi-final went? Was it a semi-final in National Stadium? Oh yeah, you beat them, no?
Yeah. No, it was semi-final. It was third and fourth.
Third and fourth, yeah. They have good players, I agree, but them set up wrong, which is Portmore. All right. Speed, me send you my cousin, Christoph Murray. He used to play for Stets to Cavaliers, but he signed to team in St. Elizabeth.
I don't know who is that person. He never come, man. I think come one day and two me send up to it. Me still observing him go and not come back. I don't know. I don't know the person.
Yeah. To me, I'm not impressed with Mount Pleasant. I am not impressed with Mount Pleasant. With the resources them have, they should be dominating the league. And if you look, Waterhouse is playing better than them and Cavaliers. No, all right. So all right. So let's
Like have the S, it's just Cavalier.
Just Cavalier. So Unseen, listen. All right. So more attractive is not always better. Because I think this is one of the things I'm learning with football. A team can look more attractive, but are more efficient. Isn't efficient better than attractive? Mr. Speed is very attractive, but they are efficient. I am saying that the truth is, you can look very attractive, but you're not efficient. What I'm saying is that Mount Pleasant is not a team, since they have been in the league, to create a lot. But what they do, they are very solid defensively. All right? When I calculate the amount of chances created against them, it's really and truly they should have defeated Cavaliers. They had the opportunity to defeat Cavaliers. Not Cavaliers, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Speed. To defeat Tivoli in the first game. They missed two penalties, and still won the game. All right? And it's not like they were put under any pressure. All right? No. Is Cavaliers playing well? Yes. But I want to tell you that Nikolai Finlayson, who is a very good friend of mine, should have been red carded. He should have been red carded for aggressive play. All right?
Look here, it's early days. Look, we're not the better and who will play better is early days, and it could all be down to preparation and who have more minutes under them belt and which team is able to gel quicker after 2 rounds. So I think it is just premature for us to be talking about. Also, as I mentioned before, the league is going to teach everybody a lesson, including myself and all of you who's watching, and it's how the coach them adjust. Just remember, we had said Manchester City, it don't look like a for them here. They made some adjustment, then just come right through and win easy. We had said Liverpool was no Champions League for them this year. What they did, they made some adjustment, and when you're not even looking, them sneaking out. So this league is going to come down to the coaches who can see problems and fix them as they go along to get into the playoffs. And once you reach in the playoffs, you have a chance. And again, it's going to come down to the coach who can decide how maybe the rest of my counterparts. Because as you quite rightly say, and you can see the tables, there's nothing separating the first 17 or the first 17.
Yeah.
That one won't fix. So I think we should be patient.
Yeah, and when I interviewed Mr. Galloway, I think they have 3 Guyanese. I think the Guyanese goalkeeper, I think one of the center backs and a couple. So they have a few additions to make to the team. Mr. Speed have something planned for the pro license coach.
We don't. Yeah, I love that he's here. I love that. I met him a couple of times. I love him. I like him, boss. I mean, we have good conversations. But please, you know, I have to come at him. Yes, I am. I really want to go up against him. I'm looking forward to the day.
All right. Mr. Speed, anything you want to say? So looking forward to this weekend. You want to remind us of the games that are going on tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. I think we have. Go ahead.
Well, the games that is coming on. Let me just say.
No, Mount Pleasant playing Humble Lion. Cavaliers playing.
Well, the first game at Stadium is at 1:00. Will be Portmore versus Mullines United on Saturday. Then Mount Pleasant play above you at 3:30 at Saturday. That's a really good doubleheader. On Sunday, Cavalier takes on Dundolin at 1. Waterhouse plays Veer United at 3:30. And then on Monday, Arnett Garden, they're against Umberland.
And Tivoli rest week.
Tivoli will be resting this week. So interesting. Some very interesting game. I mean, Umberland and Arnett hasn't tasted victory since the season. They haven't gotten a point. So that's an interesting game there. Waterhouse and Veer. If Veer can knock off a next top team, then that would be kudos to Duki. Cavalier and Dunbowling. The truth is that Dunbowling has beaten us the last 2 times that they have played against us last year. We had won the first one and they won the next 2 in 1 week apart. Mount Pleasant and Harborview. Harborview had beat Mount Pleasant like twice last year.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see if that, and that was when Ludlow just came back to Harborview. And new coach syndrome, as I like to call it. And then Portmore and Mullines United. Portmore again must be feeling a little bit under the weather after losing that close game. So I know what Portmore is. They will come back with a vengeance. And I expect them to play a good game. Mullines not
coming off a rest week.
Right, and not showing their true worth as yet. They drew with Veer, so maybe again they are better than we think. So they probably is encouraged that Veer was able to beat Portmore. They think they can do the same. So very interesting matchup over this weekend. Of course, this weekend and next weekend, I think you need those results to be able to start to see who is putting daylight between who. After those 2 rounds of games, I think you'll start to see a pattern developing in the league.
Yeah, man. So a lot of football over this weekend, and then you have the finals just on the international level. You have the finals of the like my prediction from before the league start. I pick Italy, and I'm going all the way Italy. They're going up against England. I hope you don't conflict with any of the Premier League games, so I can get to watch everything. And then you have Brazil, winning Copa America easy, like Sunday morning, and defeating Argentina by 2 clear goals. That's and nobody can go.
I know what you just did there now. All the Messi fans, them after but I think if Brazil win, you won't have any issues.
Hey, listen, if Messi win, you're going to tell me that he's the greatest because Copa America is bigger than the World Cup, and I can't afford that to happen. So, yes.
My one of these days we'll talk about who is the greatest, because I think I have a very good idea who it is, and there's a lot of reasons.
We're going to talk about that, didn't yeah, man. I know who the greatest is. I don't no question about it. And then we also have Gold Cup also starting, and we don't want to speak a lot because of Mr. Speid's position with the JFF about that. But once a game is completed, we can look back at the performance and kind of talk about it. Jamaica play on Monday, first game.
And I can say we want us to win against Suriname. That we can talk 1 million times. We want us to win. We hope to put in a good performance. I am just happy that we're able to get a lot of training days in. That should be able to help us immensely. It's a long time. We have never, even when we go away, we don't get these amount of training games. We always have issues with players, passport, COVID tests, you name it. But at this particular point, I think we are probably one of the best prepared team now who ever went to a tournament in terms of the camp, and there's no contractual obligations that anybody talking about money. I mean, all the things are in place, equipment manager, the physio, GPS systems, analysts, all of those is in place. So I think, we're at a really good place now to make a challenge for this World Cup. And we're just here holding our breath. I hope we'll be able to go to the finals.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. And I'm so glad because I've seen a couple clippings of the training sessions, and they look really, really like there's a unity and a bond amongst the players, the coaching staff as well. I saw like there were 11 persons apart of the coaching staff that I counted.
This is the biggest staff we have sent away. With I think we have 23 players and 18 people to deal with the team. People used to say we must send 5 people. I mean, not like that. We need.
You need physio.
Massage. We have 2 each. We have equipment persons who, we have physical trainers, because it's difficult for one person to massage 23 man. That means you'd have to be waiting. If you want to take half hour, you'd have to be waiting 10 hours before your massage comes out. So all of these things are put in place, and just hopes everything works.
Yeah, and there you go. And that's the good thing is that, listen, there are signs of improvement. As Mr. Speid, I see somebody wanting to contact you, but I don't know, you have to determine how you're going to deal with that.
You charge him a fee and give him a number.
All right, so one person said 2-0 Jamaica. This man says 3. Yeah, I think 2-0 is a good. I think we're going to win the first 2 games.
Could be about right, based on what I've seen of Suriname.
Yeah, they have a very aging team. That's it. I think they have most of their players are 29 and above. The majority of their squad is an aging team. And I know a lot of these guys I think they come from the Dutch, the lower tier, the Dutch.
So the physicality in CONCACAF, them not like it because I saw what Canada did to them.
Exactly.
Get one.
Yeah, man. Listen, Mr. Speid, all the best. Good game. You're catching a wounded. The worst thing you can do is play a wounded animal. So you know that look out for that because the lions are wounded.
Yes, no, it's true. So we have to know what to do. So anyway, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man.
All the people, thanks for coming up.
Yeah, man. All right. Be safe and we talk again.
All right, take care.
Yeah, man. Listen, everybody, thank you so much. Kareem, Ishmael, Unseen Sport, Ganesh, Travis, Coach's Desk, big up. You understand me? Marlon, Ricky Dance, bless up. Alex, Wolipa, love and respect. Countryman, Wolipa, love and respect to all the person who tuned in. Marlon Nelson, yeah, man, really appreciate the support. Remember, if you're not itchy, we need to talk, Up, Coach's Desk. Listen, people, you have to check out Coach's Desk, right? Coach's Desk every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just go on YouTube, search for Coach's Desk and go on from 7 o'clock. And wait until it starts. Don't move your thing. You understand me? Check out Unseen Sports as well. Good you doing him work and stuff. Give him some love and support. Family not here today, but link him up, man, and show some love to all the persons who putting out different content and things. Again, really appreciate this. We do it every Friday where we pay some attention to our local league. Cause we love complain about it, but we have to also make sure that Ryan, big up yourself, Ryan LFC. Check out him thing. You understand me? We have to give some support to the local league. So whoever we can highlight and all of them things that we can do that and give credence to the work the coaches them do it. Yeah, man. So bless up and respect. Check out Formula Sports, people. Check out Ryan LFC, Unseen Sport, and don't miss Coach's Desk. Me say it go take off tonight because say coming close to the Gold Cup and World Cup things need to be said and things. So check it out tonight so you can hear from man like Cataract. You understand? Man say, nah sleep. All right. We don't know about that still because they're married and all of them things. Listen, we have some ticket for the Gold Cup and we have figure out because if we don't get to travel to the game, then we don't want the ticket them waste. So make we link up and see how that can work up. You understand me? We may end up just going to the 3rd game against Costa Rica so we can make it get the 2 game. Ishi, give me a link, man. You understand me? You have the number. Just give me a link or you can leave your number so I can touch base with you. But respect one and all, really appreciate the love and support. Again, we do this again next week, Friday. If you would like to come on and talk to Mr. Speid as well, along with me asking some questions, just let me know because he's open to that. All right? Bless up.
I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the date done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.